Okay. All right. The button has been. Oh, look, we're live already. Go for
All
it,
right.
Keith.
Welcome to Keith and the Girl. I'm Keith Malley.
I'm Chemda.
Craig Klein. Hello, Craig.
Hello, hello, hello.
It makes me nervous when you take off one headphone when we just started. Everything good? We have a connection because it's going to get deep today.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. I
All
feel
right.
great. Do you feel good?
I feel good. Is it okay if I reference you as simply Craig because of today's climate? I don't want to ruffle feathers.
No, I'd prefer that you did that actually. Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Let me say this. Of course, I said this multiple times to Craig in private. Of course, I've said it on the air publicly without Craig being here. But while you're here, let me mesh the two. I was a real asshole the day that I was mad at you, and the next day I had to complain on the air. Over 2 decades of knowing you, I don't know why I had to blow up so fast, and I'd like to sincerely apologize again.
Verklempt.
I'm
Yes.
I'm verklempt.
I'd rather you didn't use that word in today's climate.
Fair. But let me walk that back and just say that yeah, I don't even know what to say. I didn't know you had the capacity.
It's not a trick apology, and you were very generous, and I appreciate it. And
He
I
doesn't
think
have AIDS now if he accepts it.
Right. It's right. Would you rather $1 million or lick a bus tire? I'm like, I think the tire for some reason.
Well, I'll tell you this, Rankin is really excited to see Craig because he believes we're going to talk about space today since he's here.
The latest.
Let's do it.
I do think it's Adam Brown that got us together because we have him to mutually hate. And so I'd like to thank that and Harry, yes. My buddy Craig.
Wow. After the big blow up, the Craig gate, if you will, and between then and now, Keith came up as queer adjacent, and Pizza is saying queer Keith is so sensitive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Feelings go with being queer, it seems.
Yeah, that's how we know you're not queer, because that makes sense to you.
I was at like a gay pride parade. I'm like, look at all these feelings.
Yeah. Yep. Nailed it.
But the picture, I didn't have Craig in my life. I just learned about knife sharpening in my 40s. You know, I mean, there's a lot I'd be missing out, and that would be a shame. And I wouldn't be able to, quite frankly, be there for him as a friend. I'm a little nervous, Craig, that you have an afrin addiction, and you are and anytime I have a cold and take afrin, people do warn me, and I find myself warning others too. You got to stop by day 3. It works immediately. For it being over the counter is fucking nuts, but your nose clogs itself if you don't keep using it. How many months are you on?
Well, this time around, I kicked it a while ago.
Okay.
And yeah, and then I was having a night that I really wanted to breathe, you know, and I'm in the Walgreens. I see the afrin. It's not behind the glass like the other shit. And I'm thinking, well, I could just take 3 of these. So I bought 3 of them, got into the car, one, and then immediately I could breathe better than I think that I've ever, you know, you breathe so well that it's cold behind your eyes, you know?
Right, yeah.
And I'm really feeling
cartilage isn't even in the way anymore.
Yeah, nothing. So I'm about 8 days in right now. I'm about to finish off the 2nd bottle. I feel good, but I know it's coming on the hangover, you know.
But we have a way to fix that, so it'll be fine.
Exactly.
First of all, I just want to say I'm very uncomfortable talking about Craig's nose in this climate. And second, what happens? What's the come down? What's the DTs like off afrin?
You can't breathe.
Yeah, right. Well, it says don't use after 3 days, which I feel like everything says that. I don't read a lot of instructions, but I
wonder
just
if there's
assume
a reason for that. You think it's just like 3 is a good number? Like, well, just funny
and
comes
so
in 3, you know.
When there's a good reason, they should list the reason, and they don't. So I think to myself,
don't tell me how to raise my kids. Everybody's different. How is everybody? You know, a tiny person, me 6'2", every medicine's 24 hours. You only do it for everybody's different.
I know. I'm on antibiotics now because they just did some work on my teeth, and I guess you just get antibiotics for 7 days. And part of me was happy because I'm like, dude, if I have anything else, those antibiotics are they don't know that it's for a tooth. And so I just got a little excited for my whole body.
And so unfortunately, I think that the issue with this is, well, at least for me, last time I was on it, I did probably a month on straight every day, a couple times a day. And then when I stopped taking it, I had the worst depression. It was like laying in the street type of depression, like might cause suicidal thoughts type of thing. It was like
Wow.
that. And I just thought I was on a low, which happens to me sometimes. And then my girlfriend, she said, "Yeah, you're an idiot. That you're not supposed to use that. It fucks up. It's when it's a steroid. It fucks
I don't
up.
want to talk about your
your
girlfriend in
stuff."
this climate.
Yeah, that's best. But yeah, apparently, I don't think that it's the steroid stuff. I'm not a doctor.
Do you
I'm not
just
a
wait
fucking
for someone to call you an idiot instead of going, yeah, 3 days sounds correct? I just like your girlfriend told you idiot, Keith tells you idiot. It sounds like you're picking certain people in your life to
Yes,
motivate
and
you.
I'll be honest, it's not just the idiot, it's the tone of the idiot
Mm,
because some idiot just goes it goes right through me.
mm.
But with a proper tone, it really puts me in check, and then I start considering.
You have to set up time not going out or talking to people where you can kind of not breathe by yourself. Get through that wheezing, maybe a good 8 hours, maybe chop some wood, and you're going to be back. But in the meantime, it's going to be, it's going to be.
And apparently the disgusting and terrifying mood destabilization.
Yeah, don't be
So I've
around
got that
anybody.
to look forward to. Yeah. It'll be all right. It'll be all right. I'll just play Destiny with you.
And figure out why we're friends. So we're going to talk about the big Kickstarter news, keithandthegirl.com/kick. And I bring it up to say, if you're listening live, you're listening live. But if you're listening as a podcast, as most people do, I would say if you haven't heard this news, if it's not obvious right now, pause it, hear the Kickstarter video. I like the way it was presented. Otherwise, it might, I don't know. It's a different kind of shock you're going to get. And Chris Turner really calms you down a little bit at the end. That's the way I would do it. Okay, you back? All right, here we go. Chemda is leaving Keith and the Girl at the end of, in March, the end of our year anniversary. That's the big news.
But Keith and the Girl will continue, right?
Keith and the Girl will continue.
Well, if this Kickstarter gets funded, right?
We'll talk about, we'll talk today about, what are the plans? Spoiler, none. Do I do it by myself? Do I do it with like I said in that Kickstarter video, a not man person? I don't want to necessarily be talking to myself, but somebody in the chat said, what's your last night? Who's on your short list for a co-host? Honestly, nobody. Honestly, I couldn't even think about it right now. Like maybe something will come up during this hour, but nothing. There's no. It would be weird if I immediately had Kenda's giving me the news, and I'll tell you how she gave it to me. But she's giving me the news, and I start taking out a pen and paper. Oh no, keep going. I follow and I start writing down names. So Kemda call. I've been trying to have like just an in-person meeting. I haven't seen Kemda in a while. And then finally she goes, you know what, should we meet in person? Have a little meeting? And I'm like, yeah, I've been trying. Let's do it. Then I realized she doesn't want to do it in a restaurant because she doesn't want to ruin that restaurant for me. You know what I mean? Like when somebody dumps you at your favorite restaurant and you're like, well, this is fucking ruined. So of all places, she goes to a place she knows I'll hate and not have to be in again, a library. So that was polite. And so what are you thinking?
There's also like no check spot. There's no like waiter coming up as like one person's crying or something. Like it's
just
very...
the security guard in our empty room every so often going, what the fuck is this?
Right.
You can't turn a table and you can't look at porn. These are two things that she did.
It is very, very difficult to find a place in New York City that is spacious enough to have a private conversation without paying thousands of dollars for that privacy. I thought of a WeWork, a co-working space situation. I didn't want to put money towards it because, you don't want to change someone's business life and like have used yours or anybody's. I wanted to keep it as neutral as possible.
You ever get dumped by a woman, Craig, but you still have to pay for dinner? Like, oh my God, this could have been an email.
I wouldn't know what that's like. No, not me.
And that's the thing. Like, if it came to like we just ordered and then somehow the conversation came to like a natural end, and then the food gets put in front of it. Like all this timing. It's it was too cold at that point to sit at a picnic table. I thought of parks. I thought of, this New York City has so much. The only thing it doesn't have is quiet space and quiet space to pee. So it's like,
imagine it's a restaurant. Imagine it's a restaurant. One person can eat, the other one can't.
Right. What do I order when I go like, hey, does this change your life?
I won't be hungry, trust me, but go ahead and order.
Neither will you. You want like a calming tea?
Let's explain how it went and kind of how did it go? What was your plan? Were you like, I'm going to tell him over the phone? Well, obviously, I'm not going to tell him over the phone, so I got to play dumb. I remember when makes me think of when Kat wanted to file divorce papers, and we're already separated, but she goes, "Hey, let's meet and let's have lunch. Bring your license."
I have to say, I knew you would reference that. And I thought maybe you would reference when you got fired at Applebee's because you had to come all the way from Queens to Brooklyn to possibly work at a job that you were only making $35 a shift, but still took the train. But then they fired you, and you're like, dude, just call me next time. So I'm like,
yes, I gave my friends extra wine. Goodbye. Do you want me to cry in front of you? I'm fired. You're a corporation.
Exactly. So I just pictured the episode being titled, Just Call Me Next Time. I thought about telling you on the show, but I thought that's, not, that's not professional. Yeah, right. But we speak very well on the show. And I thought of how
also like there'd be way, I mean, we're good at this and that's the point, but it'd be rude because you'd be making me talk as opposed to in real life. Okay, Kenda knows. Okay, I'll let him take it in. And then Kenda says at one point, by the way, like, do you want to go for a walk or something? I'm like, with you? Like, what are these questions? Like, or by yourself? I'm like, for what? What? Do you want to skateboard for a little bit and then come back? Like, well, I'm here. I don't know. Give me 10 seconds.
Well, Keith doesn't understand the I don't know, the patience, I guess it takes, and I don't mean that in a bad way, the mental capacity to sit there while someone stares at you. It's like you won't really get me staring at you. I'll probably process as I'm talking, but I had so much time to process that I knew that it is very possible that you weren't listening to any word that I said after I dropped the news. So I was ready for that. I was ready for you not to remember anything I said after. I wasn't sure if to get into anything serious after. And so I waited. I asked you to continue as I remember it because I'm also swimming in my head.
Sure. Well, Hemda's so caring that it's confusing me. Like, all right, do you want to talk about other business stuff now? And I'm like, paperwork? And she's like, no, like, the upcoming, the album, the Dead Emails book. And I'm like, yeah. And then she goes, yeah. And I'm like, did I just get that wrong too? No. What the fuck? I said yes. Really? What? That's what was going on in my head.
Okay. Well, I was double checking, right. And I guess that's very redundant. And we do that when we're trying to really figure out, or at least I am. I'm like, are you just being polite here? Because polite Keith is difficult to navigate because I have to stop myself from guessing. I just have to also pause with you. So I don't know how much I paused. When you said you wanted to go into other things, I kind of started talking about it and then I dropped it. And then I noticed you were staring. So I think I gave you the option to maybe pick this up another time. I know it was a Friday and I left my Sunday open so you can take time to process. And then we can have the conversation again from start or from wherever you want to go,
After, and we'll go back to the actual conversation, but after I left,
it was raining. It was so fucking, it was like, really, rain? Okay, we get it. It's a dramatic day. We got it.
Yeah. I'm with an umbrella in the rain. I'm like, this meeting's going to be worth it, Right. And then when I walk in, the way the place is, like, I can't see her. She's around the corner, but it really echoes on this floor. and kind of just assumed it was me based on the timing. And it's like, is that you? And I can hear her from far away. So on the way out, I happened to pass a woman. Her back was to me. She didn't really hear me on her computer, but I go, hey, you want to be in a podcast? I knew Henda heard it. Then I look around.
I didn't.
Oh, you didn't? Because I looked around
No.
the corner and I saw you pacing. Tell me you were crying. Come on.
Of course.
Yes. All right.
Crying, sobbing.
All
I love
right.
it. He figured out how to win that conversation.
we knew we would get there, right?
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
He did the mental math.
Yeah.
Now, technically, I just made $6,000. I don't know.
I took back something to Amazon. I got $100 to spend now. So Henda explained she hates comedy and laughing, and that she wants to focus more on OMAD and self-help.
Look, you just no.
Smiling hurts, right?
Yes.
What do you think you said? What would you say anything to the audience that's different? Like in chat, I was like, honestly, I have no different thoughts, and I don't think Henda does than what we didn't say in the Kickstarter. But if, let's say, somebody didn't hear the Kickstarter, what would you say as they're slicing wrists?
I don't know yet. What I would say is, I would start a tangent basically, because a lot of thoughts came to this, right? So I can go through the tangent in my head over the last however long. I don't even know where to start it from. But in the history of me, I wasn't always a podcaster. I was a children's party entertainer. I was a singer. I was a podcaster. I always, and I switched careers, and people always said, why? You're so good at that. You're already doing this. You have established, boom. And I have to go like, yeah, I get it. But I did do that, and I did that. So now I did it. So let's see what else I can do.
Whereas me, I'm still eating ice cream. You know what I mean?
Right.
But sure, maybe there's tofu out there. You don't know.
Can I say
that's honestly, like, I get how that's not really a detailed answer that wouldn't answer everybody's questions, but like in general, if you asked me, like, in general, what is that? In general, that.
So it's such a unique circumstance from the outside, and also from the outside inside, where I'm at. I kind of know what's going on a little bit, but then when I watched the Kickstarter finally, and I don't know if the other listeners felt this way, but it did seem like it was so matter of fact. It was so matter of fact for these two people that are like literally one phrase in my head. These two people share the Keith and the girl, right? It is one body. It is you know,
but our baby is an
like the
adult
Father,
now.
the Son, and the Holy Girl. And you know, with everything that has been gone through with you guys, and then the announcement. The reason why I'm bringing it up right now is because the way that you're talking about it, obviously you had gone through some, sort of trial and tribulation, I'm sure, to come to this decision and process.
And then a big coin flip.
Yeah. Because fuck it. The simulation wants me to. And so does Jesus. Anyway, my new religion. No. I sobbed after we recorded the Kickstarter. I sobbed after I told Keith. I sobbed after before we recorded yesterday's episode. It is I understand how big all of these steps are, and so I allow myself to like feel how big that is. And then even while I'm crying, even after, even while it's going on, I'm like, but this is right. And
so that's kind of the way that. So I've been through breakups, with people that I really cared about, and that I certainly cared about me. But it came to a point where, it really was a process that we had both ended on, and as opposed to having this really dramatic and totally insane, last conversation or so to end it. it's like with a smile, like, no, we've both been thinking about this for a long time. What could be said? It's almost like because the mountain is so high of experiences that you got, like, what do you want to go over the entire thing?
It's not that a breakup is not heartache. It's that reaction could be calm and it still be an internal heartbreak. And the reaction could be dramatic and mean and accusatory, and it'll still be a heartbreak. It's all internally the same. It's just we know that we have to give this information. We know it has to be somewhat entertaining. We know it's got to be real, but also like there's some people who are like, fucking finally, Keith and the girl, like, pick another girl. Who gives a shit? It's like, men are this, Israel that, Hamas, that. Like, I could, I don't want to pronounce her name. Next, like, it's all of that. That's cool.
Do you think? Okay, do you mind? if
I go, you have to. If you have to.
I don't understand sarcasm.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. Yes, we would love it, and that's why we invited you here.
So, yeah, it's funny that you say that, because do you really think that? Do you really think that the listening audience?
Not. I mean, the majority expression right now is zero that, but
is what? Sorry, is what?
It's not, oh, finally pick another girl, okay. But it has been while I'm here, I stopped listening ever since Chemda started blaming men for this. I stopped listening after Chemda got so angry at that. I stopped listening after the show turned into this PC bullshit, and maybe there's the same thing. I stopped listening after Keith yells about everything and tears up stuff and, whatever.
Who's saying that shit?
They'll stop saying it now. No, but that's always going to exist. So originally it was called Keith and the Girl because the show is Keith's, and it's too late to say bullshit like that and people to like that. It doesn't matter anymore. It became this. So I'm not like ridiculous about it and just go, it was always Keith. So anyway, 19 years later, it means nothing. This is a big deal. But I don't want to say my exit speech yet. I still have till March 7th. So I'll, compile my thoughts and share them as we go. And, it's really nice to see some people's response. And I
see here on Reddit, somebody said, first I've heard of it. And then this person, Benchmade39 says, I remember them saying very briefly several weeks back that something big was coming in November. I love this hindsight stuff.
I love hindsight. I can't wait for the hindsight. That's what I'm most excited by. Here we go. Just 1 second. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you found other things, because this is going to be the Easter egg hunt that I've been looking for forever. Yes, of course, there have been hints. Absolutely. Anna says, I remember Chemda mentioning not going on forever after the last couple Kickstarters. I have been saying, stop thinking that your artists and your favorite things are going to happen forever. Participate now while it's happening. Like, participate so that you're not like, I'll participate when my job goes better. I'll participate when, whatever it is. If it's cool, participate now. Don't wait until I'm dead, because here's another thing I'm saying. I'm going to die.
That's a hint. Is that a hint for later?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
well, you know what? Chemda was extra cheeky last week in poker. Like, what I think is funny is, some people are thinking there were clues that there absolutely weren't there. But in poker, it was down to me and Chemda. And then as soon as it was clear that I was going to take her out and be number one, she goes, winner gets the company. Anybody remember that?
That was too perfect. That was too perfect. We both knew we were about to drop this news, and it was down to the two of us.
I love that. I do remember with your ex, Chemda, like, I think maybe the last time that he was on the show with you, or at least the main show, and he said something like, well, we're married, so you stick it out, and there's really nothing that can break that up. And I remember Chemda going, nah, there's a way. And I was like, it went from stinky butt to no, not necessarily, motherfucker. Something feels different.
My wife would never be such a fool as to. Was that on mic? All right. By the way, speaking of poker, so I lost the first couple of hands because I timed out. My head was like dizzy. It's really the first time we're talking about it. And so I'm listening. Then to add insult to injury.
Oh my God. Oh God. This I'm gonna miss. Go ahead, Keith. Blame me for something stupid.
Well, I'm gonna miss you much. That has nothing to do with you. Anyways, Craig takes me out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I could blame Chemda. You're right. Because here I am. I'm about to win on a big hand against Craig. Craig's getting ready to work that night. And then I timed out a couple times because my head's spinning. It's the first time I'm talking to listeners. And then Chemda goes, Craig, pay attention. You're about to time out. And Craig goes back to the computer and takes me out. I'm glad you brought that up, Chemda. But anyways, as for Craig, he happens to take me out, takes out Chemda. This reminds me of 9/11.
Oh
and
my
the Diamondbacks were playing the Mets the first time baseball comes back to New York City. And who wins the game?
Did anybody have 9/11 on their bingo card?
You know, I did not. After 19 years, I did not.
Yeah, me neither.
I should have. Wow. Okay. Surprise. Here we go.
We have the mayor there. We have the governor there. Start spreading the nose. We probably have Barbara Streisand's probably there. And, everybody's excited. Who wins? The Diamondbacks. Really? On that day? It's that fucking important, Arizona. I'd love to hear that speech you gave them. I know it's their homecoming, but fuck them. That's what Craig did last night.
It's important that everybody knows that I'm terrible at poker. B, I hate poker.
Oh my God.
I only come for the lulz, and the poker is just kind of the medium. And I accidentally beat both Keith and Chemda last night.
Oh, I'm sorry. Both of you, I just timed out on this conversation. Shut the fuck up.
And I wasn't paying attention. I was nervous about going to work. I don't know how it happened. And I really want to apologize for taking away that special moment.
Ew, don't make it worse.
Well, what's done is done. Chemda's so sorry too. A tiny thank you says beginning fix on Reddit. Still reeling a little teary from the news, but wanted to make a point of speaking some specific gratitude to you guys out loud. As I'm a daily listener of 16 years, but never really figured out the forums, I came home from work a few days ago crying. Guess I've been doing a lot of that because of the overwhelming atrocities taking place in the world, always, and the current complete lack of sensitivity to an incredibly complex situation. I came out of the kitchen after making dinner and told my husband that, quote, Keith and Chemda made me feel a lot better. As a fellow liberal, peace-wanting Jew who is feeling very isolated and let down by my peers right now, you both validated my feelings and made me feel a lot less alone. Definitely not the first time. Thank you.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Remember that those are not your problem. All the shit that's happening in the world.
What's funny seeing
it's not on your lap for dinner tonight. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, I got messages from all sides, of course. Even though anti-Jew hate in New York City just rose 214% because of this war, you have people going, I want a ceasefire and peace. Keith and Chemda, kill yourself. Okay, all right. Very good, very good. Paulina Click says, shut up, you're crying. Our buddy Tom B says, absolutely, positively changed my mind about so many things, meaning Keith and the girl, over these years. Divorce can be a positive thing. College isn't for everyone. Going to a therapist isn't a shameful thing. Plus, you introduced me to a bunch of comedians I never would have heard otherwise. Jesse Joyce, Carmen Lynch, Patrick Schroeder, Casey James Salango, James Adomian, Dan Soder, Tim Dillon, Micah Fox. You both have been inspiring, hilarious, and the best. Chemda, I wish you all the good stuff in your new endeavor. Keith, I hope the show continues to be enormously popular. 20 years is phenomenal. Tom. Thank you. Tom.
Yeah, Tom. All of that.
Sky talking about...
I got to meet those people too because I was in this, Well,
I'm keeping them as friends. Just donated, says Sky. I've been listening since 2005 and Chemda opened my eyes to both Al-Anon and how to divorce a sex-addicted ex-husband. I'm forever in gratitude. Thanks, Chemda.
They were all the same. That's the girl. They're writing in. Here's what I learned. Am I Chemda now?
And on Reddit, of course, you see one good comment on Reddit, almost like flipping a coin. And if you see it, you close your computer. You happen to get lucky. I kept reading. Yeah. Keith won't last a year. First of all, if the show ended today, I can't think of a longer running podcast. I can't think of a podcast with more episodes. If we ended today, it'd be fine.
Right. Yeah. You still did
frankly.
it. Yeah, exactly.
And a year is a long fucking time. Me and Chemda have another 4 months together. Think about your life. I could say me. unrelated to this news, I can say my life has changed personally in the last 4 months. Has yours, listener? 4 months is a long fucking time. Never mind a year. Well, you know, every day's a winding road.
Was that Sean that said that?
So the chat was a little heavy. You know, Catan said, I listened a week. Was just getting the news, I think. It's like, I listened a week after you guys started. I'm like, I hear what you're saying. I listened a week before you started. But this is big news. Yeah, I get it.
Wow.
That's really cute.
Mallory said, someone bet you'd fail and somebody bet you'd die in a year. I'm like, yes, Mallory, people aren't nice sometimes. It's a true story. Yeah, I mean, 19 years, we've had our death threats and even crazier shit. So, yeah, it's kind of hard to fuck me now. Somebody already beat you to it. You know what I mean? Let's see. Just wondering, wrote on Reddit, one has to wonder what Keith did behind the scenes to finally piss her off so much that she would leave right before the show's 20th anniversary. Looking forward to the inevitable implosion. This is somebody that had to get the news immediately and rate something. So you're a listener. It's so weird. It's so weird. Like, I understand what I understood hate listening was like Dennis Miller. I would hate listen to that show because he says such stupid shit, but I never once in my life wrote him.
Hey Keith, you want to know the best part?
Yeah.
She's listening right now.
Right.
She's hearing us right now.
Right. I can't wait for the inevitable implosion.
It's like the never-ending story, you know, at the end of when she's screaming out to rename her, and it's really just the boy in the attic. He just needs to do it.
Hemda has wanted to leave him for years, but she stuck around, and now she leaves 1 year before a huge milestone for the show. We already got our awards, by the way. He fucked up big time. You can see it in the video. They're suppressing something. 1 year before the 20th birthday, they continue, and the person who cares so much about birthdays that she flamed her boyfriend for doing everything perfectly, but not getting her a card is quitting. Yeah, definitely everything is going well over there. Is this Xerxes? You have to say.
You don't understand. I know so much about these people. Kemda's like my best friend. Trust, I see it. I see it.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, my God. Oh, well. Let's see. The tears comment that Chris rapped about was flames. That had me like. Here's somebody saying, my printer ink is dying. I just saw the Kickstarter video. I've been listening since 2005 when a friend of mine introduced me to the world of podcasting. Hemda and Keith and the girl have been one constant in my life longer than anything else. I'm happy for Hemda and excited that she's found a calling that speaks loudly, but I can't lie that, like many of us, we'll be processing, quote, all the things for the next little bit. Thank you so much, Hemda, for being open and letting me be a fly on the wall during your Keith and the girl journey. But the real void is only going to happen in March. Until then, I'm going to enjoy every minute of new uploads and extra cherish my VIP membership's back catalog. Well, actually, what I'm going to do is go back on starting March 8th and edit in somebody that can do a Hemda impression. And she's going to be so sexist and misogynistic. I'm really going to show her. Don't you worry.
I'm going to delete all the content on the way out. I just want to say, because we just said we were dropping hints, that was a total joke. And that's not nice to even like put out there that could be real. It's not.
And then mine might not be either. We'll see. Cam and Lee says in Father Mally's voice, son, I'm not surprised in the slightest. I could have told you it was coming from a mile away, but you didn't ask. So I kept this intuition to myself as not to ruffle any feathers that didn't want ruffling. You see, son, there comes a time in a man's life where he must rise up and lead, take charge and succeed with all his might. This is your time, son. And as one who has risen up and won it all, I am here for you in your time of great challenge.
It is so weird how many people can write in your father's voice, because it's so weird. Dead on that I'm actually agitated as if it's your father.
Right.
Because it's like, oh yeah, he did. I'm like, no, that's not him talking. This is a joke.
Right. Rod over text us wrote after he heard the news. Yeah, he didn't because I thought about telling some people. And I told some people, but I didn't want to tell Rod or maybe some people in the chat that I see every day, and it felt weird because I feel like I'm friends with them. But at the same time, it's not fair to say you have to keep it a secret for now. And, it's like, why put that on anybody, quite frankly?
I think that's not fair. I think it's not fair to, especially somebody who has to be on mic with us. We're giving everybody enough time to like process while, the change isn't exactly here yet.
Yeah, I think I only told 3 people before the Kickstarter video came out.
Wait, you told 2 other people?
You and I think your girlfriend was eavesdropping. He said, Rod said, "What the entire motherfucker?" And Kendra wrote back, "Oh, hey." And Rod said, "I mean, good luck with the Kickstarter. Looking forward to Monday's show on VIP. Say that much."
I'll be honest. It actually, as much as I would have been upset if I didn't know ahead of time, it's like if you got an advance copy of the season finale of something. Like, I really want to be with the rest of the world as they do the red wedding. You know what I mean?
Right. What an analogy you picked.
I thought about it.
And then Rod later says, "All right, I'm going to need some Power Wash Simulator to get through this."
By the way, while I was listening to that episode, I downloaded the game, and
you really do simulate a power washer. That's the game.
The first level, you load up and you're in a garage, and there's a muddy car in front of you, and you have a power washer. Literally it. And I was like, this is fucking dumb. And then I pushed the button, and then I was like, oh, look, the bumper's totally clean. How do you do the window? Oh, there's a different thing. Okay. And next thing I know, I'm cleaning a fucking a fake backyard for over an hour and a half, getting every single crevice, every rock clean. Rod, thanks for the recommendation.
Does it make you? I brought it up, but that's okay. Does it make you clean your own house after? Like you have to scrub in between tiles or something, or it's unrelated? That's work. This is fun.
I keep my house pretty clean. I don't know if you know, but I'm a little particular.
It sounds like it's a pacifier, and I don't mean that good or bad. I just mean it sounds like it's just.
Well, the world's so nuts.
calming.
I just want to clean fake shit and calm down.
Exactly.
Starscream writes, "I used to power wash things like for a job. It was okay." Rod said, "But have you ever simulated that shit, bro?"
It's similar to that of a coloring book. You know what I mean? Like there's lines, you get the image, but you want it to be right and colorful. So it's like reverse coloring, basically.
Starstream said, "How much does it simulate pay me?" And Rod said, "I mean, you get paid and then you buy more equipment so you can power wash more stuff."
Yeah.
So it sounds like he's retired, Starscream. Anthony writes, "I don't know how to express myself still, so I'll be short. I love you all and thank you for all these years. I just heard the news via the Kickstarter and feelings occurred. So here I am typing this. You're both probably one of the most consistent things in my life, honestly. I'll stop typing now. Catch y'all later." I somehow legally wouldn't have let him to quit if I didn't do Keith and the Girl longer than being a waiter. This is also my longest relationship.
This is my longest everything, right? Like, longest job. Yeah.
I'm good. I thought of an idea for my March 8th show. I'm going to have Robert Alvarez on, Psychic to the Stars. Spoiler, I think we're the only stars. But anyway, I'm going to have the tarot card reader to the celebrities on March 8th, and I'm going to ask him his thoughts about the future of Keith and the Girl without telling him anything. She can't make it today, but just us. What do you think about? We'll see if Mikhail gets the internet.
Oh,
it's spiritual advisor.
Really good. That would have. Oh man, there's nothing better than proving that a psychic is wrong right in front of their faces.
Well, I've just seen if he's not wrong. We just can't relate necessarily. But I wanted to know if Mikhail is paying attention. That's what I mean. I mean, if you're not paying attention, you're not paying attention. Well, actually, okay, I will tell you some news. March 8th show, Alanis Morissette with Rachel Ray. We're having a finger fucking game. Yeah,
well,
very
then,
excited.
I almost got excited for that. So
I heard about you and Rachel Ray. Please,
clearly, it's your show now.
Please.
Yeah, I was gonna say you really that was a weird sprinkle you put on the top of that one.
Yep.
I felt bad making her jealous. That's all. I'm gonna try to get Hemda to call in on March 8th, and she'll call in and go, You good? I'll go, yeah, great. Take care. Click. All right, next topic. I think that might be fun for people. I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm gonna take my dick out and run into the mirror. We'll see what comes from it. Yeah.
He's good at that. Like a gorilla in the woods.
Brother Love
really
brought
close.
up you guys have the same hair, and maybe he can just wear a mask and he can say whatever I want. So that's a good idea.
I think and by the way, actually, I really noticed this in the Kickstarter campaign video that you did. Your hair is looking fantastic.
Thank you. It came back a little bit.
Exceptionally good.
Well, they call it those spite breakup looks. You know what I mean?
Well, I lost some of it and the texture changed, so I had to get used to it again. So I had to like re-understand it, and it's doing all right now.
Maybe
That's
we do
what
like
happens with curly hair. I need a haircut, and I have to pick a very specific salon because I have wavy hair, and oftentimes I go in and I'm like, "What did you just do? My hair doesn't even work anymore. It's like a carpet."
I would like the audience to know that this was Craig's topic.
and this was actually a tryout, so that's taken care of. We're gonna do like a Kiss farewell tour, so maybe the show goes on for 18 years. Who the fuck knows?
Hey, it's already been 19.
Right. The Kickstarter, by the way. Thank you, everybody, for supporting. It turns out you really hate Chemda. It's nice that you can't come out in a big way. I appreciate it. The early bird audio and video rewards already sold out. So like Chemda's saying, you want to be part of these final things. You'll see what we mean in the reward section. Jump on it now. KeithAndTheGirl.com/kick.
If you really care, if you really care about Chemda, I saw that there was a tier where you get her personal cell phone number. I forget how much money, but check that out. I signed up.
There's just like little sayings. It's a voice message that you just call and you hear like her thoughts of the day. Like, well, some people don't like pickles, Keith.
Somebody's asking if I'll be part of the 2024 marathon. Yes.
Yeah.
Keith will just be showing up to that. And that's why there might not be a marathon after that. So just so you know, again, participate if you wanted to participate. I will be working through March 7th.
There you go. What did you went to Brooklyn for like a special meal last night? Is that true? That's the vibe I got. You got the pizza place you like. You got the cookie you like. You went 16 ounces of Diet Coke. Am I right or wrong? Was it a you day?
That was more, I was joking about that. It was more about soon after the show, I took a 20-mile bike ride. That was more to bookend that particular feeling of that particular show.
Oh, because I just went for the food. I got pork belly BLT, Brussels sprouts with bacon. I left the bike ride alone.
Well, that is, I went to my favorite pizza place, but it's a usual spot on a bike ride. There's a bunch of them, and I do get a Diet Coke here and again, especially with greasy food like pizza. So it wasn't, and that cookie place is around the corner. So yes, I did indulge with like cookies more than maybe I would have, but I was partying last night.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have weekend plans? Do you know what you're doing?
No, I'm trying not to plan too much because I already have like a lot of plans. So I'm trying not to, I gotta like get my shit together.
It's not easy over here either.
I'm probably gonna move to another country, but what do you want to say?
You're moving to another country? Are you?
I don't know, because I'm considering.
Hi.
Yes, so cool. I knew that. I knew it. That was my suspicion. That was on my bingo card.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really.
So I think I'm going to minimize my life so that I can see where to go after, like in mid-March.
You have a New York apartment. What are you going to minimize? A fridge? So like something's going on with your place. So you're like, I'm going to move anyway, and you might as well make it another country, or unrelated?
Yeah, my landlord's family member is going to move into this place. So, and they gave us a few months, but I have to ask them for a couple weeks extra, which is coming. So hopefully they're not listening to this before I ask. I'm gonna ask today. Anyway. And then I don't want to look for another place in New York City right this second. I want to maybe, because we have such a rigorous recording schedule here that, you know, it's difficult even in this day and age with the internet and all of that stuff. We saw it. I tried it out, and it made our lives harder when I was traveling. But now with OMAT for once a week, that's happening so far, I could manage that in a different place on a daily basis.
And I still, and all the VIP stuff is going to keep going. I'd like if, you know, everybody's into it on their end. And you thought I said about assholes behind the scenes before. Without Hemda, can you fucking imagine? Take a look at keithandthegirl.com/VIP. Take a look at /kick. It's all right there. Any other questions or thoughts, Craig?
Yeah, I'm very much looking. I wonder if the lack of the counterbalance of you know, Hemda's reasoning and good nature, if you're going to swing over to the center a little bit, you know what I mean?
I'm one of these right wing assholes now. The way comedy's going,
you know, yeah. No. I think that maybe you will be the one calling people out, because that's something that is really lovely. I think, in the arc of this relationship, is that, you know, you think about where you guys started and the type of comedy and the and like Hemda was saying, like, and if I understand correctly, maybe I'm wrong, but you didn't necessarily want your identity associated with like this like boys club, a frat party at the house, drinking all night type of bullshit that was going on. But you were down there to assist and help and hang. You just didn't want to be the singer Hemda out there doing that, right?
Yeah, I wanted to have my own Google search in my own
Sure.
life, my own
Exactly,
personality
right.
before like Keith describes me first, and then I'm, you know, entering the world. Yeah.
Sure. And then and then you becoming, you know, more the girl and less just this anonymous figure. Then, you know, challenging some of those things, and then watching not only his mindset truly changed, but then becoming, you know, not an advocate for these things. Not to say like we were hanging out in these, you know, he's my friend, for, you know, instance. So he's always been a liberal minded person. I don't mean to say anything different, but even just making the bad joke or taking the terminologies out of your vocabulary, you know, like these are things that now he fights for, and he calls out other people for not doing. And it's amongst a million things. And while I have the platform to thank you guys for that, it's so rewarding. And I guess to bring it to something very topical, it was so nice the way that you were expressing something that I wanted to thank you for on air regarding, and I hate to bring it up, but regarding the Israeli, you know, Palestinian conflict.
Oh, good. I was hoping we would end there.
Let's end on that.
But I know it's important because it's fucked up right now to be a Jew in the world, because it feels like there's a lot of animosity and anti-Semitism coming at us, which might not necessarily be the intention. And I'm willing to understand that, because it's a complicated thing. And I think I speak for most of the Jewish people in my life. Nobody's a Zionist. Nobody's like really loving that Israel is moving their encampments, you know, or their settlements into these places. They're warmongers. You know, the government over there is terrible. But also, I'm watching videos of people rushing airports and opening up airplane doors because they've heard that a flight has landed from Israel in, I think, Kazakhstan or someplace in Western Russia, where they're literally pulling people off of planes. They had to immediately turn away from the gate, get the flight back in the air, and then this huge mob of people were going around beating on doors. Now, I get it. This isn't America, but something, that's not America, and this is America. Maybe that couldn't happen. But there's a history of this happening. And after they come for us, they always come for somebody else. And you said that, and it meant a lot to me to hear that there is, not to be a centrist, but there's some reason that we have to bring into this, into the conversation. Even us that are proponents of liberalism and, anti-war, anti-government, anti-oppression, anti-colonialism.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to have 4 more months of reason, okay? So nobody gets
Anyway, thank you, Chemda.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I'm not sure what you're very welcome.
I was thanking you because I know it's difficult. I know it's difficult to speak up. It's been weird for me. I don't want to post anything online because I don't want to align myself. And I realized that it took some time, and you did. And it was
also, as
bold.
Jewy as I am, as Israeli as I am, it hasn't directly on a day-to-day affected me, and I'm not going to pretend that it is, and I'm not going to take that weight either. This isn't happening to most of us listening to this. So do the next right thing in your life, and let's wait until the burden is on us more to act like this is, live your life because we're alive. So thank you all. Is that what we're supposed? Yeah. Is that what you were getting at? Is what I meant?
Yes.
Keith just fired me now. Okay, so this is what
I mean. It's
you know what? I'm feeling better.
Like I said, it's like a reasonable approach that like Keith was defending you yesterday. Like, it's not simple. Things aren't simple in life, and there's always been a reasonable voice in you that has educated me, that's educated my friend Keith, and that I'm sure that's educated the audience. And even when it's quite really, really complicated, like the issue we just spoke about. So I just wanted to thank you for that personally while I was on here with you. Thanks.
Well, it's amazing that people are listening and interested to my words. Thank you. Thank you for listening. Click buttons in front of you. That's what keeps the listening and the making of things that you listen to going.
And she's so eloquent. I'm going to miss that. Have a good weekend, everybody. And we'll see you on Monday and do it again like we always do. That's it. Thank you, Craig.
Stick around for a minute. Sorry, I didn't mean to get off on a tangent there, but I made a note that I wanted to thank you. Yeah.
I like that.
Cool. Yeah, that was really good. I'm sorry I was on my phone. I'm having a work emergency. Somebody just...
You're still live for the record. You're still live for the record. Just saying.
Oh, I don't give a shit.
Okay.
Somebody at my job broke an 89-inch television.
Oh, shit. You might need that. Whatever this job is, you need if you have it, you need it.
Let's see. Ryan says, I suppose Keith and the Craig is too much to hope for. After that,
it's called Diamond Dogs.
We're not going nowhere.
Oh, wait, hold on. Bucha says, Chemda, you rule, Chemda. There, I said it. Thank you too, Craig. Nicole says. There was actually, here's what I wanted to read. Is this why Keith and Craig made up? Thank you, Glitter Neurosis. And thank you all.